Harley, can you please comment regarding Kevin Gianni's recent interview with Susan Schenk about her experiences, why she didn't do well on a raw vegan diet? Okay, let's get into it. Firstly, Susan Schenk, I listened to the interviews. Kevin Gianni, great guy, does some good interviews. So I listened to the interviews of Susan Schenk, and she said she was 99% vegan. I don't know what that means, but I think if you want 100% results, it's good to do things 100%. It's just like saying I had a car accident and I was 99% on the right side of the road. Next point is Susan said she had a high carbohydrate diet, but if we look at what Susan actually did eat, it was a very high fat diet. There was lots of nuts, lots of seeds, lots of oil, lots of green vegetables, and very, very low in fruit, aka a very high fat diet, a low carbohydrate diet. So it doesn't matter if you're a vegan or a raw vegan or a vegetarian or eating McDonald's, if you eat a high fat diet, you're going to go downhill eventually. So this is Susan's daily diet, the high fat diet that I said. And here, Susan said she's eating a high carbohydrate diet. Susan's daily diet. This is from page 32 of her book. I start the day with green juice mixed with cayenne pepper to wake me up. It works as well as caffeine without the downside. Or a super smoothie with kale, orange juice, 1 banana, 2 tablespoons of bee pollen, 1 pinch of cayenne pepper, and 4 tablespoons of cacao nibs. I would be off my face if I'd ate that. Okay, next snack. She loves her chocolate. The snack recipe includes peanut butter chocolate cups and peppermint patties. Ingredients include cacao, coconut butter, agave or honey, peanut butter, dehydrated coconut, mint extract, etc. Lunch is a salad with minimal or no dressing. Sometimes add soaked olives or dehydrated sunflower seeds. Dinner is a raw soup with raw soup. All recipes include salt, spices, avocado, nuts, or olive oil, sometimes more than one. Or Susan eats leftover gourmet dishes she has from around the weekend. Occasionally she just has an avocado or a couple of pieces of produce. So that's fat for breakfast, fat for lunch, fat for snacks, fat for dinner, with a few stimulants in there from the cacao and the cayenne pepper. So no wonder Susan Schenk said when she was on a 99% vegan diet, she experienced mental fog, fatigue, irritability, and depression, and her binge-prone tendencies that made her want to eat a caloric-restricted diet. And I don't blame her, because I couldn't survive on that high-fat, stimulant, low-carb, fruit-phobic diet. I'd go crazy as well. So I don't blame her for failing on that. Nobody can live on that diet. This is insane. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous diet. And no wonder people are going, I did a raw vegan diet, 99%, and I went AWOL, mate. It's like, yeah, you will when you're eating so much fat. Plant fat's better than animal fat. It's better than cooked, but it's still, you don't want to have too much of it. Lots of carbohydrates from sweet fruit, and that is the secret to a raw vegan diet, not this fruit-phobic, drug-dependent, fatted out, or Hollywood craziness. And Susan Schenk quoted a study done by Stanley Bass. Stanley Bass put some mice on a fruitarian diet, and the mice went crazy and ate each other, and they ate the brains of their fellow mice compatriots. And Stanley Bass formed the conclusion that a fruitarian diet isn't good for humans. And Susan Schenk said, that makes no sense at all. But why? Because mice and rats, they're carnivorous, they'll eat each other. So to conclude that humans can't be fruit eaters because mice can't is make the same conclusion that humans should eat other humans because mice eat other mice. It makes no sense at all. If you look at the amino acid requirements of a mouse or a rat, they require 10 essential amino acids. Humans only require 8 essential amino acids. Next point, Susan said she had to eat eggs because she had low B12. But she never had her B12 levels tested before she went on this 99% vegan diet. So it's, it's like me saying, I left my wallet at someone's house, and when I got the wallet back, there was some money missing. And then someone says, well, how much money was in there to start with, Harley? And I'm like, I don't know, but I think it must have been a lot of money. It's like saying, oh, I've got B12 deficiency, but I didn't have it checked beforehand, but I must have been okay before. I've got friends who eat raw animal products every day, almost every meal, and we've checked their serum B12, and it's always been low. We've checked their homocysteine, some of them, and it's always been high. So if raw animal products cured B12 deficiency, then we wouldn't see people with B12 deficiency who eat raw animal products, but we do. We see it a lot. Also, Susan Schenk in the photo, she's holding bananas. But she says bananas are bad, so why not hold up a picture of a dead fish or half a pig's head? And so I find that quite interesting. And another point is Susan Schenk's not even an athlete. She's probably a lovely lady. I've never met Susan. I'm sure she's a lovely lady. I'm sure she's watching this, so pay attention if you are, Susan. She's not even an athlete, and she's saying she didn't get enough protein on a vegan diet. Me, running marathons and winning 24-hour mountain bike races, I've cycled over 170,000 kilometers as a vegan. So when a non-athlete says, I didn't get enough protein, I have to ask, how many grams of protein are you getting as a 99% vegan? And how many grams of protein are you getting now? And 100% of the time, the answer is, I don't know. So how can we really objectify if we don't even know? Another thing I find is that when people do drugs, like cacao or ayahuasca or smoke a lot of the bongs, I think their mental clarity in giving health advice is a bit skewed. So I say, if you want to give health advice, great, but put down the bongs, put down the magic mushrooms, put down the acid trips, put down the ayahuasca, put down the peyote, and all these things, and start clarifying your brain rather than being on a drug high before you give health advice. And that's my little secret there. So again, just because someone eats meat or does drugs doesn't make them a bad person. My mum eats meat, I still love her. But the reason why I'm speaking out about this is because I want people to get the right information when they go on a plant-based diet, so they don't end up doing a Susan Schenk and doing a 99% vegan and doing a high-fat diet when they think they're doing low-fat and just hitting rock bottom. Another point is Susan believes in breatharians. You know what I mean? So once you believe in breatharians, you're going downhill already. There's no such thing as breatharians. People say, Harley, what about Jahas Machine? It's like Jahas Machine got debunked on 60 Minutes in Australia years ago. Wiley Brooks says eat Big Macs and drink Diet Coke. Just visit his website. So breatharianism's BS. Absolute BS. It's just another form of anorexia in the health food movement. So that's my advice, is take advice and people getting the results you desire. If you want to be a fit, healthy vegan or raw vegan, take advice and fit, healthy, raw vegans versus people who are doing drugs, who are 99% vegan, or who are vegetarian vegans, and whatever that means. So again, it's just take advice and the people getting the results you desire, and judge by results, not by theory. And some people say, Harley, you shouldn't judge people. You should just be accepting and just be quiet and just stand there and say, yay, just whatever. I say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to judge because I expect people to judge me. I judge others. Judging is an innate human desire. If you don't judge, you die. And people who say they don't judge, that's BS. They're either lying or they're boring. So I say judge, question what's encouraged, and just look closely at what people are doing, you know what I mean? Ask for objective information versus subjective. So Susan said to Kevin Jani, she talks about how she craved eggs and she ate them for B12. And then Kevin Jani says, did your B12 levels go up? And Susan Schenk says, no. Interesting, that one. Susan says we've been eating meat for 2.5 million years. Well, how come you can't just walk up to an animal and bite it in the face like a real carnivore can? Because that's the last time I checked. Tigers, dogs, cats, they can all do that. But humans, we have to, sort of do it in slaughterhouses and pay people to do things we'd never do. And if we did do them, we wouldn't want to do them in public because, people would think we're crazy psychopaths. We have animals as pets. It's not idealism, it's just human instinct. Is you eat animal products, your health goes downhill. And the more animal products you eat, the worse your health gets. Just look at the people who eat the most animal products versus the people who eat the most plants. So that's an interesting one. So B12 didn't go up after consuming animal products, which is common because, like I said before, all my friends who eat animal products, they have low B12, the ones who are in the raw scene. So Susan says we're meant to eat meat, but then she says, I put the meat in the dehydrator overnight so it doesn't look so raw. Last time I checked, tigers, cats and dogs didn't have to do that one. Again, Susan says she ate a 99% vegan diet and got a B12 deficiency, but she's 99% vegan. Interesting. She never had her B12 levels checked before she started her 99% vegan diet. So, who knows what we can think. And she said, Susan says, I felt a lot of brain fog and my memory was going downhill. No wonder, Susan, look at the high-fat diet you're eating that was full of stimulants from the cacao and cayenne pepper. It's definitely going to make your brain foggy because your glycogen is going to be so low from your glucose-exhausted diet. What else we got here? Susan Schenk says that 99% of the fresh produce in the United States is irradiated. I don't know about that one. I mean, I just cringe when I hear breatharian wannabes who flopped on a high-fat diet that was 99% vegan, giving advice to others on how to do a raw vegan diet. It just makes me cringe. It's like me giving advice how to drive a Formula 1 car when I'm driving a golf buggy. You know what I mean? It's insane. So I've seen people die. I've seen people commit suicide. I've seen people become obese. I've seen people become emaciated, binge-prone, depressed, weak individuals because they've tried to follow this fruit-phobic, carbohydrate-phobic, high-fat, drug-dependent, cacao gobbling, ayahuasca slurping, bong puffing, magic mushroom popping, LSD flipping, peyote purging, freak-out diet on calorie restriction where the ultimate aim is to become a breatharian. I got to say something, because I'm sick and tired of people becoming sick and tired on these crazy fad diets where fruit's the enemy, but eat as much honey as you want and don't have to do any exercise, just sit down and eat heaps of raw meat and steak and you'll become super fit. Well, hey, I advise people, look at the people in the health movement today who are the fittest and the strongest, and what are they? They're the raw vegans, the vegans, people on veganbodybuilding.com, or myself doing all the bike races, or Mike Arnstein doing all the running races, and Scott Spitz and Scott Jurek, the ultra marathon vegan athlete. If you want advice, take advice from people like us, and versus the people who are sitting around smoking bongs all day, selling you bullshit, and telling you to calorie restrict. It's insane. So again, everyone's nice. I don't believe in evil people. I just believe in bad choices. So I want to give advice to people so they can make good choices. Because again, I believe everyone's deep down is a great person. And if I'm going to point the finger, I'm going to offer the other hand as some help. So I always want to help people.
Not take this anymore. Saying everything I've said before. All these words, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance. Less I hear, the less you say. You'll find that out anyway. Just like before. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to break, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. I find the answers aren't so clear. Wish I could find a way to disappear.